I'm a big fan of this Attorney General Brnovich. I want to be clear what his site is. It's BRNOFORAZ, BRNO4FORAZ, Arizona.com. BRNOFORAZ.com. I just believe we should reward people who are in the fight. And the job of the Attorney General is litigating. He's litigating like hell. There are others too, but this is an important race in Arizona. This guy Kelly, they say men are from Mars, women are from Venus, or vice versa. This guy's from Venus and Mars. Nobody knows where the hell he is. But he's basically a lapdog for Schumer. Arizona needs better than this. Arizonans don't even hear from this guy. He's a big gun control guy. We know the horror that happened to his wife, the congresswoman. But he's running. And he's a failure. At a time like this, voting for American Marxism, supporting the Open Borders Party. I mean, at some point, people got to put their feet down. And I think you'll see more and more Hispanics, more and more moderate Democrats, as well as Republicans. And you have seen it. You saw it in Virginia. You saw it in New Jersey. You're going to say, okay, look, these people are nuts. It's a pleasure to have the Attorney General of the great state of Arizona with us, Mark Brnovich. You know, Mark, I always have trouble pronouncing your first name. It's an unbelievable.
Just the way it's spelled, Mark, just like yours, M-A-R-K, right?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great one. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. You've been very, very busy trying to save this nation and your state. Tell us about some of this litigation. It's very important.
Well, as you know, when we've talked about, we have multiple lawsuits going on because the Biden administration, their policies are not only unpopular, they're unconstitutional. And so we've sued over the vaccine mandates for federal workers and federal contractors. We have an ongoing lawsuit, but a judge in Georgia just granted a nationwide injunction, so federal contractors are not going to be forced to comply. As a result of our lawsuit against the OSHA rules, which are clearly unconstitutional, you know, those rules now have been stayed, and the Biden administration says they will not enforce them, but trust but verify. We'll see what the Biden administration does. They move the goalposts all the time, as you know. And we also filed a lawsuit, and we got a nationwide injunction regarding healthcare workers and the mandate that people that healthcare workers that get Medicaid money or any federal dollars have to get the vaccine. Clearly unconstitutional. That's been put on hold as well. So that's all the vaccine mandate, legal, unconstitutional lawsuits we're involved in. And we also obviously have lawsuits related to the border and what the Biden administration is doing to essentially not only abolish ICE, but abolish our southern border.
You know, this is extremely impressive. I look at my state of Virginia. We have a Democrat Attorney General, sits here with his thumb up his nose. And you even have Republican Attorneys General. Most of them are trying to do the right thing, but they're not nearly as aggressive or ubiquitous as you are. How do you view your job as Attorney General?
I always tell folks, Mark, that I am the people's lawyer. My job is to represent the hardworking taxpayers of the state, and obviously the things we're doing has an impact on this entire country. And as you know, I'm a first-generation American, and you know every tin-horn dictator in the former Soviet Union had constitutions, but they were merely words on paper. Our Constitution has to mean something, and the president is not a king, he's not a dictator, and he can't unilaterally ignore the law, ignore the Constitution, and essentially have an unprecedented power grab. As you know, the left and the Democratic enablers in the U.S. Senate, they are trying to basically socialize the economy, nationalize the election, and they're trying to essentially, decriminalize everything that's going on our border. And you mentioned Virginia. But, the reality is what's happening at the border with the cartels seizing operational control, a record amount of not only people coming into this country illegally, more than 2 million this year. We also know a record amount of fentanyl is coming into this country. And I know as a prosecutor, a former gang prosecutor, that the price of fentanyl is falling, the price of methamphetamine is falling. And so this is going to have a cost on all of us, not just here in Arizona, not just in Texas, the border states, but drugs are flooding into this country. The cartels have seized operational control. And as a result of that, our sons, daughters, nieces, nephews, people you know are going to die. And there's also going to be a huge cost in fiscally and financially as a result of these failed policies. When crime goes up in our inner cities, crime goes up in the neighborhoods, and we have all these social costs associated with increased drug use and overdose deaths. It's absolutely heartbreaking. And when I see data, Mark, like Pima County, second largest county in Arizona, fentanyl and opioid overdoses are now the number one cause of death for people that are 19 and younger. I mean, think about that. It's not car accidents, it's not COVID or whatever, it's drug overdoses. And that is a direct result of Joe Biden and Cartel Kelly allowing the cartels to flood drugs into our country. So this may be in Arizona's backyard, but it is coming to Virginia's front doorstep and Michigan's front doorstep and other states' front doorstep very soon.
Let's talk about this guy, Kelly. You want to be the Republican nominee for the Senate. I've endorsed you enthusiastically. You're running, if you get the nomination, you're running against this guy, Kelly. I never hear about this guy. Is he in the witness protection program? I mean, is he representing the people of Arizona? He doesn't seem to be speaking out about issues that affect the people of Arizona.
Well, first of all, Mark, I appreciate the endorsement, and I will win. I will win because when we have principled candidates that can articulate and defend our values, we win. As you may know, or maybe your listeners know, I got more votes than Sinema McSally, even though I had people like Tom Steyer spending millions attacking me. And it's because I went out and made the case that when you have a government to give you everything, it can take everything away. When we don't believe in the rule of law, if we don't have law and order, when our communities aren't safe, people want someone in office that represents them. And Mark Kelly has been MIA. He seems more concerned about, pleasing Chuck Schumer and the Democrats and Senate leadership. He votes with them 99% of the time than he does about hardworking Arizonans. And I think that's because, maybe he's not from here. Maybe he doesn't understand that we believe in the First Amendment and the Second Amendment. We believe in securing our borders. We don't want to nationalize our elections and socialize our economy. And so when he votes for bills that'll dramatically increase the power and scope of the federal government, that'll take away hardworking tax dollars and, these infrastructure bills or these COVID bills, which we've also sued over the COVID bill that says states can't cut taxes. It's not only unconstitutional, it's head-scratching, Mark, because you sit there and you say to yourself, who is Mark Kelly representing? So I guess when he's not busy hiding out in his basement or maybe in outer space or whatever, he is, representing the interests of Chuck Schumer and the far left at AOC. And that just doesn't fly in Arizona.
Where is he from originally?
Well, outer space, but I mean, I know that he was a Texan at one point. I mean, really? I think he was registered to vote in Texas until very recently. And so, look, the thing about Arizona is that we have a long tradition. Barry Goldwater, folks that are straight shooters that'll tell you what they think, why they believe it, and those are the kind of people that win in Arizona. It doesn't mean you always have to agree with someone, but if you are a principled conservative, those are the folks that get elected because people want someone in office that are not going to represent Washington, D.C. values. They're going to represent Arizona values. And as I said, whether that comes to protecting our gun rights, and we've been the leader on that in many of the cases at the Supreme Court, whether it's protecting the most vulnerable or, securing our border, pushing back against unconstitutional vaccine mandates, my goodness, someone's got to do it. And it affects, as I said, not only Arizona, but it affects the entire country.
All right, Mark, you really do have a fantastic record. You really do, for Arizona and the country. If people want to help you and support your campaign, where do they go?
BrnoForAZ.com, BRNOFORAZ.com. Thank you very much, great ones.
All right, brother. Take care.
Thanks.